Good morning, everybody. David here, and I'm in Prescott, Arizona at Center Force Clutches, and today we're doing something incredibly cool and something I'm kind of nervous about, actually. Today I'm going to be building my own clutch for Smurf, because eventually we're going to Tremec T56 Magnum swap it. But we're going to be doing basically a high horsepower clutch. I'm going to show you the entire process of how a clutch is made, and there is so much to it. There's so much I had no idea about. So I'm going to go get my work order just like everybody else here and start making this thing. Wish me luck. Okay, first step, go get my work order. So apparently I have to come get my work order.
You do.
Okay, first step, what do I do?
What do you do?
Yeah.
Well,
if I'm a normal employee at Center Force. Okay, so this is essentially everything we need to do in order to make a clutch happen. And there's a lot. It's okay, I have good supervisors. It's all right. On the work ticket, they even put that dude in blue. That's how important I feel today. What is the first part we're gonna be making today?
Flywheel.
The flywheel.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do the flywheel first out of basically raw steel.
Raw steel.
Okay. All right.
For you, I mean,
I'm
gonna let you.
Do you see the muscle? I have none. That's not gonna work out. So if you ever wondered what a flywheel looks like before any magic happens, it's literally a piece of steel.
There's more Jeep. That's 6-cylinder Jeep.
So do you just know this by eye after all these years of doing it? Okay.
More Jeeps. This is Jeeps, but then we also use these over here as well for like the C7 Corvettes and some of the the GT Mustangs.
So this is one of the plates we are going to start off with today, and it's not going to look anything like this by the end. So behind me is a Haas CNC machine, and what's funny is we were just mentioning when you think of Haas nowadays, a lot of the times you think of Formula One because they have their own team, but how do they fund the Formula One? CNC machines are incredible, basically robots that do all the hard work for us, and basically when you program it in, you do a perfect shape. I guess you say the failure rate is very, very low. So today, if I can do it, then anybody can do it. So behind me is this giant, basically what looks like a drill bit. And what's gonna happen is the flywheel is gonna be mounted right here, and it's gonna start spinning. But this big giant bit is gonna punch this massive hole straight into this piece of steel like it's butter, like it's nothing. Then on this side, as it's spinning, it's gonna be shaping the metal and then ending up surfacing the metal. Okay. Oh, it is doing it. Yeah. You take the metal plate, these jaws open, you go from the bottom to the top, and then right here, down here is a foot pedal that I tap that, and it doesn't happen fast. For a second I didn't know if I was doing it right, but the jaws slowly compress and hold it in place, and that's what's gonna do the job. And then the robot does the thing. All right, now, once the flywheel is all done, we move over to this machine. This is where it does the rest of the work for the flywheel, and you'll notice a whole bunch of drill bits and some really wild stuff in this machine. And you can notice all these different types of drill bits, and then we have the actual machine here that does the drilling, and it's really neat because you'll notice that when this comes over and changes the drill bits, it does it all in an automation sequence.
So you don't pinch your fingers.
Okay.
Grab it.
Oh, the top lip?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just like that. Okay, that's why. Yeah, if you didn't use this lip right here, you would totally pinch your fingers dropping it in here. This CNC machine doesn't have a roof, so I can just film it from up top, no problem. Next station, we are at the actual disc itself. So an important thing to add with this is since we are going to a Tremec transmission, it has different splines. So we're gonna go to a 26 spline instead of a 23 spline. But it's okay, I have visual representation to kind of show you what I mean. This is basically what I have now in Smurf, which is an MT82 transmission. 23 spline, if you notice, it's not a lot. Go like that, and it goes in. You have to think, if you're putting way more power through this thing, you're gonna want something that's beefier. If you look at the difference, it's pretty substantial. So this is a 26. This is how you adjust the splines. So that's how we know with this that it's gonna fit the Tremec transmission. All right, so with the disc, we're gonna explain how everything works and how everything goes together, because at first glance, it's a whole bunch of Lego pieces I don't know how to put together.
Okay, here's your drive disc. Okay, and this is the main culprit to the whole. So when we say dyad, it's
Sure.
dyad. The meaning is one entity driving another one, and that's
Okay.
what's going to happen. This disc is going to drive this other disc. These are drive stops itself. So normally this thing will sit there moving. I can't do it real well without this going back and forth. But that's your spring dampening.
Okay.
And here's your spring. So normally the springs are going to sit in there, and then we'll put this on top
Okay.
of it, and you don't see them because they're fully encapsulated.
Right.
In a performance application, when the springs are exposed, it's known you can kick the springs. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Well, they're kicking the springs come out.
And they come right out.
They come out. So with what we're doing, they're totally encapsulated. They can't come out. And this hub is something that we've done. It's all chromoly. And it's the first time I'm probably get to see exactly how we do that, but that's an extremely tough piece.
You know, it's funny, growing up, when I think of a clutch, I think of like seeing the exposed springs and all of that, and seeing it all sealed together. It's
Yeah,
like,
you don't
it
get
just,
to see inside it.
No, I like that though, knowing that it's that extra reinforcement.
Even if these springs fail, it's going to get you home.
Got
or to the trailer.
Or limp
You know,
there.
yeah.
We'll be
But
good.
you'll get home.
What's the first step?
First, we have to install the springs.
Okay.
Take the spring, and line it up so there's like 1/8 of an inch right there.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. That way, when we put it in here, then the end of the spring will be inside. It won't catch up on it.
Right.
Whack. Okay. Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Just
All right.
Squeeze a little bit.
This guy?
Yep, that one.
Then just give it a whack?
Yeah. The other side.
Yeah. I'm glad I did one, but man, yeah. I'm sure it's like look how okay. Well, I'm sure after a while it's like a muscle memory thing.
Yeah, it takes some practice.
Yeah.
Then you have to kind of go through and find any that aren't quite right. You can turn them a little bit.
Like he's stealing my work order. He's
Alright.
he's gonna get me fired.
I'm gonna make sure I grab all the right parts before I build it. That's what I'm gonna do.
By the way, I've noticed today that everybody here, even though they've done it a million times, they still look at the pictures and the work order and the directions just to be insanely sure that everything is perfect.
Since the 3 rivets have, I don't know what to call them, steps?
Yeah.
The 3 rivets have steps, so that'll go on first.
Yeah. Like the longer
The long
side.
spline and the short spline side, so it has to go in the right way.
Got it.
Now we're gonna press the whole thing together.
So you use that guy. So one of the reasons why I'm going 26 spline rather than the 23 spline that I explained just a second ago is because the MT82 trans and the Mustang, it's on its last leg. And thankfully American Powertrain is helping us out with a Tremec transmission, which goes to a 26 spline, which is obviously tougher, stronger, etc. It's gonna be a better car overall driving on that. And that's why Centerforce has been so cool today, helping us get to that 26 spline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was wondering how that was going to press that down.
Yeah. So we're just looking to make sure all the springs actually engage properly.
Right,
So we're just looking to make sure all the springs actually engage properly.
right.
And then we could hit it again.
Okay. To make sure it stays there.
Okay, so if you look over here, you can see the rivet, and then you can see the anvil up here.
Okay.
Can the camera see where I'm pointing?
It's okay. So I'll just describe it. Essentially, right under here, the rivet's right above one of these guys.
All right. Ready?
Yep. Then we get that blow-off valve.
Turbo.
Yeah, right? How do you rotate it?
It's
okay. I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna hurt anything.
and it has a little bit of a click pawl in there, so it should basically stop center.
Sweet, didn't screw it up. Sweet.
Cool.
Just like that. Look at that. Pretty disc.
Okay, we're gonna build the floater disc. We have an outline of a wing on here.
Right.
Take the wing, put it on. This is the square side.
Oh, you basically lined it up?
So we line that up. There's really only
With
the
the-
one pattern. You just have to kind of look at this one and line them up the same way.
Okay, does this go right next to this one?
Yeah.
Or is it?
This
Oh,
one.
right here. Yeah.
You can just push them down partially, and then once they're all in, just go around and put them all in.
Got it. Every time I put one on, I think it's gonna like overlap with the perfect clearances. It's like, it's almost satisfying to look at. Should have just been a hand model. Okay, now I just gotta get them down a little bit further. I'd rather overdo it than slack on it, you know?
And put on this jig. You can see I lined up this spot with that hole.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to line the wings up backwards and put the hole over one of these big holes, because I won't rivet down very well at that point.
Got it. You can see how everything, these are the little plates I just put on, and then this was attached, and now it just goes nice and flush.
Just the two outer
Just
holes?
on the outside?
Yep. I'm gonna pick it up, making sure to grab onto that base.
Oh yeah,
Whole
so it
thing
doesn't
holds together.
spread apart. Let go?
No, you don't have any pressure on the thing yet.
Okay.
So once it goes, just stomp down once it's touching. And now you're good.
Okay. Now I'm getting the hang of it. I just need to understand how the system worked, you know?
Yeah.
Throttle control.
Yeah.
No turbo lag on this.
That's right, yeah. Basically, the first time I was going like as slow as a sloth at the DMV. And then later, I was going a little bit faster, getting more confident, and then they go, hey, flip it over and see if any rivets fall out. So I missed one. Are you serious? I was so close. All right, let's see if it'll do it now. Are you serious? It's this one. What was that?
That was Will playing a joke on him.
No, it was not. See, here's the thing though. This is my first day on the job, right? My boss is already playing pranks on me. That's not fair.
Now the wings are completely flat, but we want the wings to touch on either end so that when it compresses evenly.
Got
right
it.
now they kind of all just go cockeyed where
Sure.
they felt like. So we're going to even that out so it gets even compression. So I know where to start.
Yeah, so you know where to start and end, right?
Even pressure.
Like that.
Yeah, just like that.
Yeah.
Now we can see that gap right there. A little gap right there.
Good?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Good?
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
We're going to balance your entire assembly together.
So, here is the finished flywheel that we CNC'd earlier today. And they did something really special for me that I had no idea. But engraved in it is ThatDudeinBlue on the bottom.
So we're going to balance the flywheel, then we're going to balance the floater to the flywheel.
Okay.
Then we're going to balance the pressure plate to the whole
Okay.
assembly. And then you're going to mark everything. At that point in time, we mark it. But just like it is upside down.
Just like that, face down.
Here, I already comped the balancer.
All right.
Lock that. You're going to take this Allen and just tighten it down. It doesn't have to be like, just get it nice
Snug.
and snug. Clear. Okay, you can let go. So now it's spinning and it's calculating any type of balance.
Got it. Just like if you were at like a tire shop,
Yep.
except the other way.
So there's your balance right there.
Oh yeah, you see it.
Considered a good part. Now, if we want, we can get this a little closer. So we move this over to the red dot. Well, that red dot, that's saying, okay, it's a little heavy right here.
Okay.
That is actually really good. I say let's go ahead and get a little closer.
Sure. So we're removing material to lighten it up a little bit.
Stop.
Oh, there it goes. So we just need to go a little bit heavy.
Extremely close. So you can only go on 3 ways.
These guys?
Yeah. So those go on the big ones, a little.
Oh,
The little one's
okay.
going over there. This is the first time.
There you go.
And then, yeah. So those, and I'll tell you where you screwed up right now,
Okay.
and you're fine, is that we want it to go on level.
Sure. Rather than trying to snug one side
Yeah, 'cause
up and
it's so tight that when you go to try to go on an angle, you're gonna wedge this side over here.
yeah, it's wedging right now. So I'm right about even on every stud right now. So
But this
just
is
loud.
This is, yeah, it's got the floater bouncing in there. Now you can spin her up. Wow, pretty even.
Yeah.
There you go.
First one,
The
yeah.
easiest one is a 1 to hit, to make a mark. 4s set are a little harder. 8's harder. There you go. The red mark that's on there that you're going to put on it
Yeah.
comes off. At least there's always a stamping, a permanent mark.
Just right over the 14.
Yep. As I said, we mark and stamp at the same time. So however you want to do it, whatever makes you happy. Cap on that. Now we're going to measure the disc. You see, you're going to put the work ticket number, which is that.
Top
and then
one.
Are you happy with that?
That's oddly satisfying. I could do that all day. You made it sound like it was some really scary thing. I was like, don't make me overthink this. Behind me is essentially testing the clutch in full function, like it would be in the car. And I'm geeking out over it because it's oddly simple when you finally understand how it all works. So when you push down on this, basically, so this is like pushing the clutch into the car, right? So I'm pushing it in. You'll notice it starts compressing right there. But over here it's starting to lift.
Yeah, that's the casting lifting. What we're going to do now is we're going to check it all the way around to make sure it's evenly. If we need to make any adjustments, we're going to do it here so that you don't have to.
Right.
You get it flip a little higher. Higher.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, there.
Got it. Okay.
When you go to shift it, it's like, okay, this thing's not hanging up. I don't have any areas that where it's not working properly. You know, if the pressure plate diaphragms was off,
Sure.
that can also create a lift problem, as you saw, right? Because these were off, we fixed it. Well, the disc is like this. The input shaft's coming down like this, and it really wants to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have something that's out of center, you know, out of concentration, the bell housing itself,
Yeah.
what happens is that's like this, and it wants to start knuckling.
Finally, we got to the point where I could paint the clutch the signature Center Force orange and did a little bit of amateur tagging as well. As you can tell, I wasn't destined to be a graffiti artist.
So we've made changes over the years. One was this ring.
Yeah.
We had a problem way back when of these rings breaking. Now these are all one-piece TIG welded. And now we put limiters on. So once the thing's bolted down, that whole circle comes smaller. And that ring it'll move just a little bit, but it won't move enough to get into the throttle bearing. There's a smooth and flat. Put one in, I put it back like that, put that on right there.
Just like that?
Wherever, yeah.
Oh, I apologize, the rivets.
No, you're fine.
There we go.
So yeah, Bill Hayes came up with that of the diaphragm, the inherent issue of sticking over center. This only is there for when you shut things off.
Okay.
That's its only function. As soon as you fire it up, it's along for the ride. So as soon as you shut the engine off, then everything stops.
Oh, so they, yeah, like you
so
said.
they naturally don't just want to fall off. But once you bolt it down, that circle gets smaller. So then they'll only move like, when you put it in a car, they're only going to move like this.
Sure.
But they still can free float and do what they're supposed to do. But, you know, with the diaphragm up, they can move around.
With the clutch finally complete, Centerforce wanted to show off one of its coolest creations, their absolutely epic Cummins-powered bread truck. It's not every day, though, when you go into a Cummins-powered vehicle and the motor is right next to your foot. Oh yeah, look, we got screens on screens on screens. Also, this entire roof line can go back. We've got target. Bam! That's where you know, all the gauges, the controller. What?
This thing has not fired up in a year.
That is so cool that it's right there. And the shift knob is the centrifugal weight that they put on the clutches themselves, which is really neat. That is insanely loud.
That's the air duct.
Oh!
For the heater.
No way.
And air conditioner.
Doing a full day's work at Centerforce was an incredible experience. I learned so much about the ins and outs of building a clutch, how complicated it really is, and the talent of the workers behind this very time-consuming job. I want to thank Will and everybody from Centerforce so much for inviting me out to build my own clutch, and I will see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day.